Okay, so this is a video about a water leak that I've had for a couple of years now in this Peugeot 308. It's a 2009 diesel, and what I've had is I've had lots of water here in the footwell. Now this is dry at the moment because I've actually managed to resolve the problem. Despite looking on the internet a lot, not been able to find anything about this. So this video is to hopefully help people who haven't been able to remedy the problem in their footwell. So when this was bad, it was absolutely soaking in here. All up here was wet and all around here. The passenger side was fine, as was the back of the car. So I naturally assumed that the problem was coming from inside and around the driver's side. So I'll tell you what I did, just so that you can discount any of these problems really. The first ones I did was I looked at all the seals around the outside of the door, and that was those were fine. Really, water shouldn't be coming in through this seal because of the way that the door shuts. It shuts quite low down here, so it's physically impossible for water to get in over the top of that, but I did try that. The other thing that people talk about is down here in the scuttle panels, leaves can get in here and block up and backfill in over the top of the bulkhead. I had a look in there, no problems there whatsoever. People also talk about the seal around the window. And I had a jet wash all around this window and there was no problems whatsoever. Absolutely fine. Eventually I took all the carpets out and I was looking right up under the bulkhead, under the pedals, to see whether or not it was under there, and there was nothing. It was absolutely dry high up. So having tried all the easier routes, eventually I decided that all this carpet was going to have to come out. So to do that, I took out the driver's seat, I took out the back seat, and I lifted all this carpet. And what I found was that under this carpet there's about 1.5 inches of foam, which was sopping. But also, not only was the front wet, the rear footwell was also wet, but I couldn't feel it. You couldn't feel it just by running your hands on the carpet, and that's partly because, one, I never have passengers in the back, I only ever drive the car on my own, so the water wasn't forced through the sponge. But the other thing is, the way I park my car, it tends to be leaning towards the front driver's side, so water was just running down to the front driver's footwell, which is the lowest point. Now, believe it or not, after taking the carpets out, I'd put the car under a hose pipe, and what I realised was that water was running down the here. Once I had the carpets out, it runs down the driver's door, down the rear door, it runs across here, which is the back of the rear door, and then it runs up here, which gets you to the level of the boot. I'll show you in the boot now. When you come into the boot, pull the carpets back, you see in there that's where the water was coming in. Now, I was able to, if you look in there now, there's still a little bit of water that's left over. And that is where the water comes from, that is actually getting into the front of the car. So, what's causing it? Well, there's two vents on both sides of these cars, and they're situated just about here. And what they're for is they're for letting fresh air in. And this is what they look like. So they're hidden behind the bumper. Now, what I found is that this seal here, as you can see on this one, started to perish and crack. So water runs off the roof, runs down the side of the door, at the tailgate, down behind the light cluster, then runs down into the behind the bumper and into that area there, you can see, which is where that black vent goes. It then runs behind that seal there, I've just mentioned to you. What I've found is the way to treat this is put some silicone around here and refit this back in. Hopefully that should remedy your problem. So how do you get to it? Well, the first thing you need to do is, there's a couple of clips that you remove. There's a clip here, and on the to take your light out, the way you take your light out is you're coming from the inside, and there's two white screws which will allow you to take the whole light cluster out. Once you've taken out the light cluster, you can remove this clip here. That just twists to release the bumper. And the hardest part is that inside the wheel arch here, right up inside, there's a 10mm bolt which needs to be undone, which will allow you to remove the bumper. Only need to be able to move the bumper a small amount. You can see that. Giving you a little bit of play there, which will allow you to get access to that black plastic thing, which you can then seal up and push back in. The way to test if your car's got this water leak is to remove the carpets on the boot, pull the trim back from over your lights and have a look in the corners there. If you've got water in that corner, sure as eggs is eggs, that's the reason that you're getting water into the front of your car. Hope this helps. Goodbye.